Pokemon Legends ZA is here. And the first question that most new players have is, what are the early game Pokemon I can find that are actually good to use for a playthrough? And sure, you might think you know how a Pokemon is from playing past titles, but ZA is not only operating on a new battle system, there are also tons of obscure catches and evolutions that you want to know to get your early game rolling smoothly without wasting time on a dud. And we're going to look at 10 of the best catches for the early game. And if you want to enter our giveaway for copies of Legends ZA, all you have to do is be a subscriber and watch to the end. And to start things off, we're gonna go with a super simple early catch just as you start your journey. In the first wild area, you're tasked with catching a Fletchling and Bunnelby, which are both fine Pokemon, but you can certainly do better for something that will scale well into the late game. And so beyond your Bunnelbys, Scatterbugs, Fletchlings, Pidgey, and Weedle, at the very back of this section lie a few Mareep. And sure, we all know and love Mareep, but this is especially a good Pokemon to start your journey with for a few reasons. Mareep is just a great overall pick, but will build towards the #1 spot, which I will warn you, is something so strong that literally will break your entire early game. Looking at Mareep though, this Pokemon starts the game as an above average catch from pretty much everything else around you. Electric type is great because hardly anything in the game early resists it. And we found Electric to be especially nice because there's just a ton of flying and water Pokemon at the start of the game. On top of getting an attack boost from its starting move Thundershock, it also comes with early Thunder Wave, which paralyzes enemies and gives them a chance to not attack. And I especially like this utility move because this game is so focused around catching Pokemon, and obviously paralyzing them before you catch them makes those odds a little bit better. And some of the better catches on this list we'll look at are actually going to be stronger than your own Pokemon, so this type of status is really useful for catching some of these more overpowered Pokemon. And Mareep is the first good Pokemon you can find that comes with a good status move. Mareep itself also grows really nice, as it learns the game's very first TM you'll come across, which is Swift. Mareep also has a really nice evolution at just 15, and this gives it a huge advantage over many of the game's other early Pokemon. One thing we've been finding with the game is Pokemon with unfavorable late level ups really do struggle quite a bit. It makes the game harder than it needs to be, and so getting that quick power boost on an early evolution makes Flaffy feel like a step above pretty much everything at the time you get it. And of course, its final evolution Ampharos comes at just level 30, which is completely reasonable and actually very good for how good of a Pokemon it is. Of course, the other thing that makes this such a good long-term catch is that it gets a Mega Evolution. Mega Ampharos has obviously been around for a while, but it gets Dragon typing and overall just amazing stats, so it's just a great Pokemon throughout the entire game. We'll make sure to avoid major spoilers, but it is worth loosely noting Ampharos's Mega comes a bit later than the first large batch of Mega Stones you come across. It's earned for completing main mission 23, and while Pokemon getting a Mega in general makes it an amazing late game catch, this later Mega Stone, plus it being overall just good and not completely exceptional, is what places it below some of the stronger Pokemon we have coming up. Now, Emolga is another early electric type you can find that is basically the complete opposite of Mareep. This is the catch that a lot of players are going to miss, but we've done a ton of exploring to make sure we found every niche catch, and this is one of the best in the very early game. So if you go to the area on screen right in front of Hotel Z and then climb this ladder, then over a few boxes, you can cross the web bridge and then climb over a roof, and you'll come across a level 19 Emolga. Now at this point in the game, the obedience cap for Pokemon caught will be 25, and so at 19, this will just forever obey you. But the big thing about this catch is that this Emolga is going to be coming like 10 levels over every other Pokemon in the game. Now, this does make it more of a challenging catch. It's actually going to push back against you, so you have to be careful, but because it is within the obedience cap, it will have regular odds and is really not that hard to catch. It comes with Thundershock and Quick Attack, but you get Charge at level 20, and that Charge Thundershock combo becomes extremely strong in the early game as well. The other big thing with Emolga is that with it being a single stager, its stats are reasonably strong for that point in the game. Most Pokemon at this point are first stagers with base stats in the low 300s, while Emolga is above 400. So you get all this power up front to just steamroll the start of the game. The downside is that with no evolution, it definitely gets worse as you go on. Spark and Air Slash do give it something to somewhat keep up, but by the time where pretty much everyone has Megas, it's going to be a little outclassed. The reason we wanted to include this on the list is because it's just such a cheeky catch for the early game to help your playthrough get rolling. You can certainly use it for all game, but its biggest benefit is that you really don't have to focus on grinding it much and can focus on using it to build up your other long-term picks. So this is a great pick if you're looking for something to really smooth out your initial experience and just have at least even a failsafe if anything ever goes wrong. I should also note that we've got a few more of these styled catches coming up later that do scale better into the game. Now, anyone living in the Kalos region is obviously looking to achieve a high level of steez, and between impressing fancy collisions or just feeling good, Holzkroner accessories have been the hallmark in me trying to up my personal game. Check out this gray marble and silver interplay necklace they sent me. It's sleek, stylish, built to last, and guaranteed to even impress a Team Flare member. Every piece is responsibly made in Vienna and crafted from real natural materials like wood, marble, and steel, so no two pieces are ever the same. And sure, mega rings are great, but check out this Zendala ring I got for Liv. First of all, it's actually a ring, but it also just looks great and she was thrilled about it. We keep coming back to Holzkroner just because they are legitimately one of the best companies to work with, and you can click the bottom link in the description and use my code SmithPlays for 15% off your order. They offer free worldwide shipping from Vienna, and you don't have to worry if you're based in the US. We've already sorted custom fees. Your order will show up in 9 to 5 business days. No drama, just incredible quality products. Now, another really nice opportunity for some early game power come from the 3 elemental monkeys, Panseer, Panpour, and Pansage. All 3 can be caught just north of Wild Zone 6, which is available once you start Emma's 3 side quests at the Lurker Bureau. And this is basically the point where we've sort of hard capped the early game. So every Pokemon on this list will be available no later than the end of that quest, which is about an hour into the game. Now, the first thing that makes this whole trio deserving of a spot is that you can easily choose one to fill in your team for whatever type you didn't pick for your starter. But the big thing that makes them so stand out is that at the point which you catch them, you very quickly get access to the Stone Emporium, which is located on screen now on the southern main street. Once you've beaten the first Lurker Quest Bureau thing with Emma, you get access to 4 evolution stones, so you can just evolve these guys basically as soon as you catch them. Now, I'll note that there are 2 prominent trees they're found in, and if you don't get the one you want, you can keep fast traveling back to that exact location, the wild zone, and you can just re-roll it until you find the one you want in the tree. Now, these guys are all mixed attackers using both special and physical attacks, and this makes them really versatile for the early game. On top of that, they all really appreciate the Swift TM plus a Mud Shot you get quite early from Professor Mabel's Pokedex rewards. Basically, as you complete your Pokedex, you're going to get TMs from the professor, and this is like the second one you get. And so these guys will basically be on par of your level, but with stats almost in the 500s. And the reason we only have them at number 8 is that while they can certainly be carried into the late game, their late game performance will be subpar if you're looking to stomp megas. So this is another pick that I think is better for helping get your team set up and rolling, focusing on maybe training up your starter or another long-term payoff. And if you want one of them, but you're not really sure on which one to go for, water is the most common type, followed by grass. So based on just rarity, fire would probably be your best pick, while the water monkey is probably the least necessary. Now, getting back to some more long-term picks, maybe surprising to see on this list is actually Pikachu. Pikachu comes at level 7 to 8 from Wild Zone 3, which is very early in the story, once again, actually during the Emma Looker Bureau quest. You'll probably be level 10 to 14 here, and it comes at level 7 to 8, so slightly on the lower level side. But just like with the elemental monkeys, the Thunderstone is available for it the moment you catch it, so once again, you can just instantly evolve it and take advantage of its final evolution's amazing stats. Now, one of the other nice things in this game is that not only do Pokemon have a bunch of relearn moves, which can be accessed in the move menu and taught for free, Stone Evolution Pokemon actually have level up moves in this game, which some of you may not be accustomed to. This means you don't have to worry about trade-off and can get Raichu for no downside at all. And Raichu learns Thunder Punch on evolution, which gives it really solid damage output from the start. It can relearn Nuzzle, which is a better Thunder Wave that does small damage along with paralyzing. It also has Quick Attack and Thunder Shock for speedy moves and more ranged attacks. Raichu gets Charm at 20, and then the amazing Thunderbolt at just level 25. Raichu is also known for having a surprisingly impressive TM move pool. With access to learning Body Slam, Brick Break, Dig, Iron Tail, Play Rough, Swift, and Surf, it can just do pretty much anything for you. And depending when you're watching this, it's worth noting that some players will get Raichu's Mega Forms from a DLC. We don't know when those stones will become available, so it may be part of the story and you just get it instantly and then can instantly have Mega Raichu as soon as you get the Mega Ring. But even if you don't, this this Raichu is still a very good pick. Now, we've ranked it higher than Mareep specifically because it has a better early game. Metas are still being learned, so while this list is scaling in power, don't get too caught up on the exact positions. Now, next up, we have a Pokemon that blends the long-term benefits of Mareep with the early game power spike of Emolga. If you go on the rooftop of the Looker Bureau building itself, you can find a level 21 Pidgeotto, which will probably be about 5 levels higher than where your team is at. Now, not normally the most standout Pokemon, Pidgeotto is actually very good in this game. It really benefits from the high level, comes with Twister, and during the side quest where you're around this building, the Looker Bureau Emma thing, you can actually go up the tower in Wild Zone 3 and get the Aerial Ace TM to give it a really good stab move. Overall, Pidgeotto doesn't have an amazing learn set, but for most of the game, it just contributes awesome damage in every fight. For level ups, it has Quick Attack, Twister, Wing Attack at 21, Air Slash at 33, and then Hurricane at 45 and Brave Bird at 50. And for TMs, it also learns Headbutt, U-Turn, and interestingly, Heat Wave. Now, Pidgeot's evolution at 36 is approaching the later side for its stats, yes, but you can get its Mega Stone as soon as you get the Mega Ring, and it is pretty dang good. Maybe not the best overall Mega, and we will have a video on that if you want to subscribe, but for an early game pickup that scales well into its Mega, Pidgeotto is actually amazing. Now, next up, we have Abra, and if you know me, you'll know that I'm just annoyed that I have to put Abra on this list. Notoriously just one of the best early game catches in like almost every Pokemon game. The Abra line is once again insane. Shocking, I know, but its presentation in Legends ZA is both ridiculously friendly and insanely hostile towards it. So you can find a level 18 Abra on this rooftop, which is slightly east of Sushi High Roller. And once again, details are on screen. This is once again available as soon as you've activated the Looker Bureau quests. Abra, of course, notably evolves at level 16. And in most games, its big issue is that you have to grind it to level it up. You'll notice that the number 18 is larger than 16 though. So you can just catch this, instantly evolve it, and get the absurd stats that is that of Kadabra. And Kadabra is basically just a bot that spams really good psychic moves. It will come with Psybeam and you can instantly teach it Swift. And from there, it continues to learn really good psychic moves, has wild special attack, but it learns almost no coverage moves. So there is at least, I guess, a bit of a downside to it. Now, Kadabra itself does fall off, and anyone who's ever played Pokemon before knows that that's because Kadabra doesn't evolve by level up, but rather through trade. In Pokemon Legends Arceus, there was an item called the Link Cable that you would just give trade Pokemon and they would instantly evolve. That is cruelly not in the game. Kadabra is, no matter what, an insane early game Pokemon, but it's only going to scale really well to late game if you have, I'm sorry, a friend. As it stands currently, if it changes, we'll have a comment or something. But yeah, you have to trade it. So that obviously restricts it for a lot of people. But oh man, if you do have a friend, you can trade it at level 16 to just instantly get Alakazam, and then you'll get its Mega Stone around like the early 30s. Mega Alakazam has one of the highest special attacks of any Pokemon in the game. So this thing is just stupid if you can get it, but that is obviously a big if. One of the absolute best pickups in the early game, however, is Eevee. Eevee can be found in the day in the Verde District, Sector 9, north of Wild Zone 1. Once again, shown on screen with both map and specific location here. Look at that little guy, he's in the bush. Yeah. Okay, sorry. So once again, you can find this guy during the Emma Looker Bureau quest, and it comes at level 14 to 16, which is just slightly above your Pokemon's probable average. And of course, Eevee is another Stone Evolution Pokemon, which this game gives you 4 at this moment. Now, I would say the value that Eevee as a whole provides might even be like top 2, because just like with the elemental monkeys, you can have Eevee evolve to fit into whatever role your team needs. Now, you can certainly wait to get any evolution, but at this point in the game, you have access to Vaporeon, Jolteon, Flareon, and Leafeon. And this is by far the best use case for Eevee. So let's look at these 4 individual Pokemon. Ranking worst to best, worst is still not bad. First up, we have Vaporeon. For the start of the game, Vaporeon is just a bulky water Pokemon that doesn't have access to amazing moves. It gets Water Gun on Evo and Bubble Beam at 20, but it learns no early TMs. It also can't really take advantage of its relearn moves because the good ones are Bite and Double Edge, which are both physical moves, and Vaporeon is a special attacker. It certainly will get better as it gets access to better water moves and ice moves, but from the start, Vaporeon doesn't feel insane, and water Pokemon are also just always a dime a dozen, so it's probably the last one you want to go with. Probably surprising to see, the next one we have is Jolteon. Just like Vaporeon, Jolteon gets its stab move Thunder Shock on Evo, and then you can teach it Thunder Fang right away, but this is a physical move, so it's not really that good either. And then as a special attacker again, Double Edge and Bite aren't that great. And then it's also competing with those other 3 electric types we've looked at that just all provide better rolls. Emolga is stronger from the jump, Raichu is on par but has better moves, and Mareep is just the best long-term play. Surprisingly, Flareon is actually quite good. Fire types are a little bit more rare, and while Flareon is a physical attacker that gets Ember on evolution, it can also instantly be taught Fire Fang. Plus, you can have it relearn Double Edge and Bite, which it will then take amazing advantage of with its just stupid physical attack. This guy right here is a nuke. Like, Flareon just clears so much stuff, being able to actually use like Double Edge specifically. On top of that, if you don't go with Emboar and you want a physical fire attacker, like this is really the only other one. So I've actually found Flareon to be a really impressive pick for the early game. Full biases out of the way, Leafeon is my favorite evolution, but it is also objectively the best in this case. Leafeon is also a physical attacker, but unlike the other guys who get a 40 power move on evolution, Leafeon gets Razor Leaf, which is 55. It too makes amazing use of Bite and Double Edge, but then it also gets the TM for Aerial Ace. My experience with Leafeon is that nothing resists its moves and nothing can stand up to its attacks. And I would actually argue that pound for pound, Leafeon is the best Pokemon to use in the early game. It doesn't get a Mega, so its later game scaling is not the best, but it's amazing and I love it and I'm so happy to see it here. Now, quick set of honorable mentions before we get to the top 3. There are side missions at the start of this game that net you each of the Kalos starters. They'll be located on screen, but the Chespin one requires you defeating the Chespin 3 times, Fennekin requires grabbing twigs from a dangerous area, and Froakie is earned by completing 3 scaffolding parkour courses in under 30, 40, and then 50 seconds. These guys come at level 14, which is right on par for what you'll be. And on their own, even if you don't have access to Megas, these guys will be really good. And I mean, they're starters, right? They're not meant to start and steamroll the game, but they're just obviously great catches that you can play through the whole thing with. Now, Bellsprout is the other early Leafstone evolution, but this guy needs to get up to 21 to get to Weepinbell before it can then evolve into Victreebel. Still insane. Victreebel has a Mega, so obviously a great Pokemon, totally worth mentioning, but I think just for its early game performance, it's very average. Still an awesome pick though. And if you want, you can always pick up a Magikarp in Wild Zone 2. For those that don't know, me and Gyarados have beef, but basically just pick up a Magikarp, put it in the back of your party, let it soak in that experience, and at level 20, you will have Gyarados, and Gyarados has a Mega, so bread and butter, baby. But if you do, just remember, we won't be friends. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, at number 3, we have Staryu. So Staryu is actually found in the same area as Magikarp, and I think a lot of you guys are gonna miss this one, wondering what the final encounter is for this wild area. That's because you're scripted to enter this wild area in the day, and Staryu is of course a nighttime only encounter. So Staryu is basically one of the earliest catches in the game if you are willing to wait until night. Its level will be just slightly below the average of your team, and then once again, thanks to the Stone Emporium, you can instantly evolve it into a Starmie. Now, at the time of getting Starmie, it is really no better than Vaporeon. Starmie will basically only have Swift, Takedown, Water Gun, and Aqua Jet, which just can't really take advantage of its good special attack. But with its good special attack, this basically averages it out to be a really good Pokemon and not like overpowered. You can definitely combo these moves together to then finish Pokemon off with Aqua Jet, and it feels really good. Starmie starts good, but then only continues to scale higher. It'll pick up Bubble Beam at 20, which feels like a monumental power spike, and then it gets Psybeam at 24 to find its other stab move. And from here, it just gets better. It can learn Dazzling Gleam, Icy Wind, which is another early TM found on screen at the top of this building near the main tower. It gets Ice Beam, Thunderbolt, and then Power Gem at 36 and Psychic at 40. Starmie also now has a Mega, and man, is it like the most terrifying Pokemon in existence, but it's also very good. Physical attacker, kind of weird, interesting playstyle. The point is though that Starmie has a good start and just gets better throughout the entire game. Now, at number 2, we have one of my personal favorite Johto cast members. It is Heracross. Like Emolga, Heracross is a single stager, so it just comes with crazy stats out the gates. Its attack is especially high, and what makes this guy so good is actually its availability. You canonically have to get a Heracross to beat the game. It is one of the 3 Emma Looker quests that we've been talking about so much. You have to go catch a Pikachu and then trade it with a girl. So you are forced into be giving a Heracross at the very start of the game. Heracross is not perhaps the absolute best Pokemon, but because you have to get it to progress, it is like basically free. So for 0 external effort, you get a Pokemon with 125 attack. You can teach it Rock Smash right away, give it Mud Shot, also Aerial Ace, then gets Takedown at 20, Brick Break at 24. This girl's crazy in the late game with Rock Blast, Bug Buzz, Lunge, Swords Dance, Mega Horn in close combat. And if you've never experienced the insanity that is Mega Heracross, this thing just, you got to experience it yourself to really appreciate it, but it's so good. Megastone is also part of the first batch you have access to, so like, man, it's just so good. And yet, despite Heracross being so good, there is one Pokemon that actually puts everything else on this list to shame. Guys, I felt so bad making this entire list, getting to number 1 and realizing, wait a second, there are no Gen 6 native Pokemon on this list. Fortunately, there is one bird with enough aura to redeem the entire region of Kalos. And ladies and gentlemen, it is Hawlucha. Okay, once again, Looker Beer Quest point on screen. You can catch it here. It's on the rooftop above Cafe Gallant near Wild Zone 5. You can actually catch this even before that Heracross. At this rank, your obedience cap is level 25, and this guy comes at level 24 to 26. This guy is coming at a higher level than the next 4 to 5 promotion fights, and fully evolved. And it comes with Brick Break, Aerial Ace, and Feather Dance. Endgame ready stats, 10 plus levels over everything, and it gets a Mega Form. Also, if you go up there and you come across a level 26 above the obedience cap, you can just fast travel and come back and roll it again. Its Megastone comes at the second batch, which is not late at all, and it will one-shot basically everything for like the next few hours of the game. So you listen, with great knowledge comes great responsibility. You have been warned. This breaks the game, but it is without a doubt the best early Pokemon you can catch in Legends EA. Guys, I hope you found this video helpful. We're gonna have a whole bunch of Legends EA content for you, so please subscribe. If you'd like to be entered to win a copy of Legends EA, our giveaways are legit. Just want to preface that. Just subscribe to the channel and let us know what you think of Legends EA so far. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you soon.